Santa Cruz Mountains, where the cliff dropped to the sea. 1,700 feet, but them chose to be free. You know,
Izzy and Chunky, two hearts beat as one. Enslaved on the land, but them love never done. Crossing plantation lines in the darkness of night. Clandestine meeting just for hold each other tight. Charlie the enslaver, jealous and cold. One Izzy for himself like she could be bought and sold. Arrange for sell Chunky to plantation far away. But love can be shackled and them choose another way. True, them never fall, them never fall. The night sky catch them in a golden eternal. The moon rise up and carry them from pain.
Subscribe to this channel, please do so. Stand at the southern edge of Jamaica's Santa Cruz Mountains, and the land simply drops away. The cliff face at Cutlass Bay terminates in a sheer vertical plunge of 1,700 feet, straight down to the crashing waves of the Caribbean Sea. Today, this location is a vibrant hub of local culture. On Sunday evenings, the sea breeze carries the sound of live reggae music, while crowds gather on the wooden restaurant verandas to share plates of fresh seafood, drink cold, red stripe beer, and watch the sun sink below the horizon. Rising above the festivities is the Lover's Leap Lighthouse, built by the Port Authority of Jamaica. It stands at a focal plane of 1,740 feet above sea level, making it the highest lighthouse in the Western Hemisphere. But amid the modern revelry and engineering, two silent figures watch over the property-carved wooden statues of a young man and woman stand close together near the cliff's edge. Gazing out at the water, their names were Izzy and Chunky, and the romantic atmosphere of this modern tourist destination obscures the grim 18th century tragedy that gave this terrifying drop its name. In the 1700s, the economy of the Santa Cruz Mountains relied on the brutal extraction of forced labor. Enslaved workers were subjected to grueling conditions on sugar estates and cattle pens, stripped of their freedom to enrich the European planter class. Izzy was enslaved on a plantation in Santa Cruz. She fell in love with Chunky, a young man held captive on a neighboring estate. Maintaining any kind of relationship required immense risk. Coordinating clandestine meetings across property lines. They're enslaved. A man named Richard Charlie discovered the relationship driven by his own intense jealousy and a desire to claim Izzy exclusively for himself. He decided to intervene. Charlie calculated a permanent solution. He arranged to have Chunky sold and transferred to a distant plantation, deliberately placing him completely out of Izzy's reach. The institution of slavery relied on psychological control as much as physical violence by treating human beings as disposable property. Enslavers weaponized family separation to crush morale and prevent organized resistance. In this system, attempting to hold onto a loved one was a direct threat to the economic order. Discovering Charlie's plan, Izzy and Chunky arranged a secret meeting under the cover of night, intending to flee the properties entirely. But Charlie quickly noticed Izzy's absence and immediately mobilized a group to hunt them down. The escape turned into a terrifying high-speed chase. The couple tore through the dark, unfamiliar brush of the mountainside, listening to the sounds of Char and his armed horde, stampeding through the foliage right behind them. The geography of the Santa Cruz Mountains ultimately sealed their path. The dense brush suddenly opened up into empty space, trapping the lovers at the very edge of the 1,700-foot precipice above Cutlass Bay. Cornered by Charlie's men, Missy and Chunky made a final calculation. They grabbed each other's hands and stepped backward off the edge. They chose to fall on their own terms rather than let the plantation economy tear them apart. Historically, the couple met their end at the bottom of the cliff, but local folklore tells a different story. According to the myth, the lovers never hit the ground. Instead, the night sky caught them in a glowing golden net, and they were seen sitting peacefully together on the moon as it sank below the horizon. We see this type of magical realism often in traumatized communities. When a culture is subjected to extreme systemic cruelty, it generates alternate folklore to reclaim the narrative. These myths grant the victims the agency, safety, and peace they were violently denied. In reality, the story of Izzy and Chunky operates as a myth, but it mirrors the broader documented history of St. Elizabeth Parish. This region was a hotbed for actual organized rebellion against the colonial powers. This church shows the estimated participation of St. Elizabeth's enslaved population in the 1831 Samuel Sharp Rebellion during this massive island-wide strike for freedom and wages. Between 20 and 40% of the parishes, enslaved and population actively joined the revolt back at the summit of Cutlass Bay. Today, the view of the Caribbean Sea stretches entirely uninterrupted to the horizon. The modern lighthouse stationed here is engineered to withstand the harshest elements. It operates on 3 entirely independent power sources: a generator, an electrical grid, and a massive battery bank, ensuring it can cut through the darkest tropical gales without failing. Lover's Leap carries the weight of a tragedy, but the myth endures for a reason, whether through armed rebellion in the valleys below, or two lovers choosing their own fate at the precipice. The cliff stands as a lasting symbol of human agency, a literal and historical beacon of light on the edge of the world.
Santa Cruz Mountains, where the cliff dropped to the sea, 1,700 feet, but them chose to be free. You know,
Izzy and Chunky, two hearts beat as one, enslaved on the land, but them love never done. Crossing plantation lines in the darkness of night, clandestine meeting just for hold each other tight. Charlie the enslaved, jealous and cold. One Izzy for himself like she could be bought and sold. Arrange for sell Chunky to plantation far away, but love can be shackled and them choose another way. True, them never fall. Them never fall, the night sky catch them in a golden eternal. The moon rise up and carry them from pain. Izzy and Chunky shall never be enslaved again. Them never fall, over sleep stand tall, forever stand tall. On the edge of the world where the brave hearts call. Them step back into freedom, the greatest thing of all.
Charlie mobilize him henchmen, tear through the bush. Darkness and mountain at a race, foot a push. The cliff edge open up, the sea roar far below. Cornered by the system, but them refuse to go. Hand in hand, them stand at the precipice. No slave master can't imprison what them all possess. Back them step together, off the edge them leap, but the ancestors catch them brethren in eternal peace.
Them never fall, the night sky catch them in a golden eternal. The moon rise up and carry them from pain. Izzy and Chunky shall never be enslaved again. Them never fall, over sleep stand tall, forever stand tall. On the edge of the world where the brave hearts call. Them step back into freedom, the greatest thing of all.
This is more than folklore, this a testimony. St. Elizabeth rise up in 1821. Samuel Sharp laid the people to clean what was theirs. 20 to 40% answered the call. Izzy and Chunky, them was never alone. Every enslaved soul in the parish hard as stone. When them can't run, them fight. When them can't fight, them leave. But the spirit of freedom not dead. It runs deep, it runs deep. Today a lighthouse burn at the summit so high. 3 power sources cutting through the darkest sky. A beacon of light on the edge of the world, but beneath the reverie the history unfurled. We carve them in wood, make them stand at the edge. 2 silent figures, a monument and pledge that love is sovereign and freedom is true. And no plantation system can ever tell we what we do.
Them never fall, the night sky catch them in a golden eternal. The moon rise up and carry them from pain. Izzy and Chunky shall never be enslaved again. Them never fall, over sleep stand tall, forever stand tall. On the edge of the world where the brave hearts call. Them step back into freedom, the greatest thing of all. Lovers leave, some stories we must keep. Izzy and Chunky, them forever free, sitting on the moon looking out at the sea.